Good morning, coffee moaners.
Good morning, coffee moaners. Settle down for the next hour or so. Get yourself the yummiest drink you can get. Something frothy, creamy, yummy, delicious, maybe even sweet. Who gives a fuck?
Like an affogato.
Yeah. And no. Oh, yeah, could have an affogato. Oh, he's gone very posh on us. Who's the first to tell us what an affogato is? Not you. He always rushes to give the answer.
I can't remember. I just know the word. I love the word.
And spend some time with us over the next hour. We will be talking, yes, about the horrors, but we also have great company between all of us, and we do have managed to have a giggle in between. So, Mark, what are you hitting us with today? Get your rhythm stick out, love.
Get your own oil. Do it yourself. We've closed the Strait of Hormuz and you have to reopen it.
Basically, Donald Trump telling the world, get sort your own oil out. Like we fucking created the problem.
It's just beyond any imagination.
Excuse me, we were getting our oil fine before you
He has got it in so badly for the UK at the moment. What did we say to you? Keep your eyes open.
So Trump says, get your own oil, matey flip. Then there's the king heading at the same time, within the space of 40 minutes or 50 minutes, he slammed European nations and specifically the UK about oil and Navy ships and shit like that. And then immediately afterwards announced the king is visiting. And I just wonder whether we think the king should visit or shouldn't visit. Does it matter at all?
We want to read lots of your comments out on that. So get ready, get your fingers ready.
Could he be looking to gimpify our king? And also some think genuinely that our king is a Muslim. I mean,
that is a conspiracy theory.
We're going to talk a little bit more about the Charlie Kirk cover-up. We're going to listen to the didgeridoo that is Candace Owens. She turns me off, her voice. It really does. And it's a shame because a lot of what she says is really important.
On this, a lot of what she says is awful, racist, sexist, homophobic.
On this, she's on point, but she bloody goes on.
Yeah.
And Kristi Noem, or Krusty Noem, as we all once knew her, was she the head of Department of Homeland Security? Her husband's got enormous knockers.
Oh my God. I love this story. I'm not one to laugh at people's demise, but when it's a sadist, and I think a very dishonest woman has been hoisted by her own petard, I'm very happy.
Absolutely. With all of her godliness and faithfulness, and she's allegedly was having affairs and she was telling everyone else how to live their lives. We've got some fabulous clips and we've got the images of her husband.
And Mark and I are working on a little sketch we might be able to do about that.
But first, we have some rather bad news, and it's with a heavy heart we say this, because we are not going to be doing coffee moaning for probably another 6 weeks to 2 months. So this is your last coffee moaning, and we felt really sad sort of kind of talking about this because, I need to get on and campaign and, I need to cut my toenails and stuff like that. So yeah, this is the last coffee moaning you're going to have for quite some time. So I hope you are going to be okay.
Straight away,
musical chimp.
Pauline went 844 because you were shit at it. I said to him this morning, we should do this as a joke, right, on Instagram. And he was like, and I would have done it like believably. He went, oh no, nobody will believe it. And then he said, and then you know what we both said, actually, didn't we? No, people would be really upset.
Well, I'll tell you why, because Coffee did it on their Instagram and I went into a tailspin.
And like we said yesterday, so many people came up to us on the march on Saturday and said, you literally keep us sane with coffee moaning. We suddenly went, oh no, I don't. You didn't even tell me you were going to do that.
No, no. Rubbish. I didn't know I was going to do it.
That lovely mug's from Simone.
Oh,
lovely.
It's not.
Oh, no, it's not the other one. Sorry.
It's from me to you.
Anyway, guys.
Sorry. I just consumed my quadruple espresso.
Start thinking about what you think about the King's visit, because we are going to want to read out.
And we're also going to discuss the Scott Mills story. Has the BBC once again entirely dropped the ball? How do you feel about it? I mean, I'm gonna lay out my stall from the beginning. I've always found him a taciturn and miserable bastard. It's just my personal opinion. I've never liked him on anything. I've always thought he looked really morose, really bad-tempered. And that, that's not a crime, but it clearly looks like stuff has happened that's really bad. And once again, the BBC is slow to react, or are they? Anyway, Chisholm has just gifted 10 memberships. That's so kind of you.
Oh,
that's so kind of you. Which means tomorrow night we will be doing
10 extra of you.
Tomorrow night we'll be doing the No Name Sunday show. It will be after 6 o'clock because I am chatting off camera to then chat on camera with the Green Party's drugs policy representative. Lovely guy called Michael. So we're going to be doing and it will be an opportunity. I'm having a chat with them just on the phone tomorrow night to then do a recording, and I'd like when we do the recording for you to have questions that you'd like to ask, and we can ask them all about them. Claire Max Place, the last coffee moaning. No, it's not really. God, I couldn't survive.
Did a really bad April Fool's.
I just want to read this because someone was just posting from Beirut, and you are under fire.
Oh, beautiful Beirut.
Nersham S3904, good morning from Beirut. I was gifted a month's membership and wanted to say thank you to the community. It has been what has kept me going through this war.
Oh, God, Nershams.
I'm so sorry for what is going on.
Beautiful Beirut. I remember the first time I went to Beirut, because you may not know that my father is Jordanian. And we'd spent quite a while in Jordan. And we went to Beirut for a few days. And I can't, you know what I'm like with, I have no idea how old I was, but I was young, very young. I was a child. And I remembered this feeling just being lifted. I love Jordan, don't get me wrong, but it's not a very colourful place.
One of my biggest disappointments was how boring
beige it is.
Boring.
Anyway, Beirut was, just the cafe lifestyle. Of course, the French influence being very strong, and these boulevards with the tree-lined boulevards, and just a very different sort of feeling. And I don't remember much else about Beirut. I just remember that stark difference. And of course, the beautiful food, and the food there is just amazing. The cafes. My God, it's had a hard time. It's had such a hard time.
Is it quite closely aligned to France, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was colonised, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I realise that, but I mean, you know how some countries carry through
so
that.
you feel
I've always
it, yes,
heard
in
the sense
Beirut.
of Beirut, isn't it? Like
as I remember,
yeah,
that's what I felt. My cousin went to university there, of course, for 5 years. And
more often than not, I mean, the most common form, I think, of Middle Eastern restaurant, if you put Turkish restaurants to the side, is Lebanese, isn't it? People often talk about Lebanese.
You
don't hear Jordanian restaurants.
No, Syrian, Lebanese, yeah.
The Levant, which Teddy talks about a lot. So sending our love to Beirut. So those are our topics. Those are what we're going to talk about. Obviously, someone here saying no, I never listened to Scott Mill's show because I found it miserable. But you clearly didn't listen to his morning show. I realise, obviously,
lots of people love him.
Lots of people love him. And he's obviously got something about him.
And you know what? I mean, I did the trek with him years ago, Comic Relief. We trekked for 10 days across the Kazute Desert.
Did you get to know him well?
No, not really. No. He kind of kept himself to himself. But I felt like and I know nothing, but I felt like he was a bit low depression-wise. That's what I felt. Maybe. I felt there was something. Yeah.
Okay.
Something sad in there. Yeah. But neither of us can claim
that's not why I don't like it.
Neither of us.
You
just don't like him as a performer.
Yeah. I mean, when you are presenters and performers, people either like, thank God lots of people don't like us because they don't come here and watch us. So I just want to, sometimes it's quite nice just to tiptoe through some of the things that you've seen on social media. I thought this might make Nadia's eyebrows rise. Caroline Levitt wants this unflattering image scrubbed from the internet.
I saw this and I didn't send it to you.
Is she the one on the left?
They got this removed.
They did.
They got it removed from Getty.
Or so what you're looking at, if you're listening on podcast, is Caroline Levitt, low angle looking up, which is never a great angle, let's face it.
No.
With a turkey gobbling on the left, Caroline Levitt in the middle, presumably holding her son. And Caroline Levitt wants this unflattering image scrubbed from the internet. Well, she might have succeeded somewhere, but she hasn't on Instagram.
But just always to be fair, is it because her son is in it? Do we see her child anywhere else?
That's a very fair point. That's a very fair point.
It could be that.
It could be to protect the identity of her son.
It could be because she doesn't have her child.
Yeah, now I suddenly feel bad.
No, I only just thought of it then, actually.
No, it's a really good,
I just thought, I wonder if it's because of her child. Yeah.
In another headline that made me just think, what the hell? Charles III might be the Muslim monarch of England, said Rudy Giuliani, former New York mayor.
On that, we should have a little chat about the program that we listened to the other day.
Which one of the many?
Oh God, the newsagents in America, the way they're so rabid.
Well, we did show a clip. We showed a collision of all the vox pops from that. America thinks we live in Londonistan. They see Sadiq Khan as some Sharia law.
Liz Truss is going over there to these big MAGA events, whipping up that kind of madness. You're not safe to walk at all on the streets of London. It's like bollocks. We live in London.
Liz Truss.
What are you talking about?
Gusset. Sorry. Yeah. Gusset. Ches M has just gifted 10 memberships. We are going to have the time.
Should we just thank Ches M? It's the same.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, you've done another 10.
Oh,
you've done 10 more. Well, careful, Ches. Maybe you're pressing the button by accident.
Yeah, you've changed your mind.
Walk away from the laptop.
Thank you. We will see 10 more new people tomorrow for the live.
Positive.
I'm going to cook something delicious.
Okay, so Muslim, Londonistan. This idea that Sadiq Khan, our mayor of London, is somehow pursuing Sharia law when, boy, oh boy, it took Zach Polanski months to get him to even admit that a genocide was going on.
You wouldn't say the word.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. Okay, well, what should we start with? Trump, get your own oil, he says. He's posted a couple of posts on Truth Social. All of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz. Sorry?
Can we have him as Trump?
Oh, it's exhausting.
All of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran. I have a suggestion for you.
Enough.
Yeah, thank you. Number one, babe, from the US, we have plenty. Oh, look, he's...
Listen to that. If that isn't the ultimate bully, the ultimate mafiosa...
Buy from us.
Buy from us.
You scumbag. Number two, build up some delayed courage, go to the Strait and just take it.
Let's remind ourselves that he comes from the stock of Frump, was his father's name. He lived in Germany and he avoided the war by running away from Germany and landing in America. And Trump never went into the military either, did he? Because of his fallen arches. Plays golf all day long, walking. So before you call anybody else cowardly, think about yourself and your family. Will Barron be going to Iran? Will Barron be?
It's amazing that his son is named after a sort of member of royalty or
German royalty,
or the higher classes of Germany. He's a baron. Number two, build up some delayed courage, go to the Strait and just take it. You'll have to start learning to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore. Just like you weren't there for us.
When weren't we there? Okay, you're the only ones that have ever triggered NATO. When Bush needed to bring up his numbers and so went on a war on terror. A war on terror is an endless war, right? When are we over terror? When is terror finished? Afghanistan.
Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil.
We have to open the floor. What do you
make of this?
The bully boy tactics.
So whilst you're commenting, look, this is it. Buckingham Palace confirms US state visit 49 minutes after Trump attacks countries like UK. And this is what he did. He posted what I've just read you. And then less than 50 minutes later, what does that say? He goes, on advice of His Majesty's government, the King and Queen.
On advice of His Majesty's government. That's the really important line there.
Why?
Because that means...
the royal family have said that. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
This is the royal family's statement.
Right. Oh, I see.
But the government have said to him to go. Because you've got Emily Thornberry and all that lot today saying you shouldn't.
I hadn't noticed that.
Oh, I did.
On advice of His Majesty's government and at the invitation... Oh, King... I think the King had an opportunity there to
You didn't read out the statement.
Well, because you just read the beginning. On advice of His Majesty's government and at the invitation of the President of the US, the King and Queen will undertake a state visit to the United States of America. The Majesty's program will celebrate the historic connections, modern bilateral relationship between the UK and the US, marking the 250th anniversary of American independence. The king will continue to Bermuda to undertake. So what? But tell me why that's of such significance to you that he says that, because it's always on the advice of our government.
Well, because
the king doesn't do anything. He is a prop.
Because I feel like he doesn't want to go. They said it. They said I'm
what gives you that sense?
I was just like, well, on the advice of
it is a
government,
curious line.
we are in a situation now
Maybe it's an April
where
Fool's.
actually, for a moment, the UK showed a splinter of the Spanish
resistance.
Courage. We're not entering this war. Of course, then we've allowed America to bomb from our bases.
Yeah, can I just on that pause? Can I just pause on that? Zach Polanski made the point very clearly yesterday. We are fully engaged in this conflict. Iran is currently considering hitting British bases because we have. If you allow bombers to take off and drop bombs, you're part of the fucking war effort.
So we showed a moment of courage by saying we weren't getting involved, and then and then he towed the party line with Trump. Keir did, but not enough.
Yeah,
not enough. He should have laid prostrate on the floor, saying, "What next? What next? What next?"
Oh, you're saying not enough.
He should have gone on his knees.
I get lost in Nadia's performances.
He should have been on his knees for Trump, right?
Yeah.
So
doing what? Begging.
So I like to have thought that somewhere backstage, Trump was going. Keir was saying, I should have just stuck with my first thing, stood up to him. They're leaving Spain alone. America's not saying anything to Spain.
It will come.
Because he's a fucking bully.
And
people that stand up to him. And so now, like, oh yeah, you go, King, go over there. And did we not learn anything? When we gave him a state visit, right? Cost us millions. We got the gold fucking coaches out. We did the work. So everyone was on their knees. Yeah. Do you remember that unbelievably ornate, disgusting, ostentatious dinner when there were people starving in Gaza? Do you remember those incredible photos of comparison?
It was like a scene from...
He goes off with Keir Starmer. Remember having this argument on Loose Women, and signs off a multi-million-pound deal with...
Billion.
With who was it with? Tech. And I remember Loose Women saying, don't believe it. He might have signed it, but doesn't mean we're going to get it. It was like the thank you for my state visit. Well, lo and behold, he reversed.
Yes.
And it feels like we're just making the same fucking mistake again. Go and see him, lick his ass, lick his feet, suck his toes.
Suck his toes, yeah.
And it will mean nothing.
Just want to remind you.
Scaramucci says all the time, you might think he likes to be sucked up to, but he doesn't. He demands it, but as soon as somebody does it, he resents it.
It's the true meaning of BDSM. He's a dominatrix. Keir Starmer. Do you remember this? I'd just like to just bear with me 1 second. The king has asked me to give you this, and we would love it if you would. No. This was the invite.
Oh, the invite.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd love you to come.
Yes, okay.
Oh, Keir, stop bending over and taking it.
It's too much. It's just too much. I can't bear it. And the thing is, come on, Charles. You're going to be humiliated there. He slagged off our helicopters. He slagged off our planes. He slagged off our military. What's he going to... This was within 50 minutes. You went, yeah, we're coming, after he'd slagged us all off. And he's going to do it again while the king is there, I'm telling you. So
you feel that... I think they have to say on the advice of His Majesty's government, but you're right. It does
Maybe I'm
feel...
overthinking that.
No. But I mean, you know what? I wish they could just say fuck right
So
off.
do I. Right.
Just
the
fuck
American
off.
regime...
You nasty
the American
orange flatulent
let's just
sack.
be clear here, right? The American regime, right? I'm going to be crystal clear, and I'm going to be deeply concerned. The American and Israeli regime, have been running a genocide for over 2 years now in Gaza, and they are at the moment heading an illegal war in Iran, where day one they killed at least 165 children, right? And our king is going to go there and suck up to him.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted, because I was a little bit, when we had the state visit before, I was a little bit, it was early days with Trump, maybe we do have to do this. Maybe this is where the royal family come in here. This is how they earn their money. He's very impressed by gold gilt and like the royal family and all of this. So maybe this is diplomacy. But it didn't work. He turned around and pissed on the whole thing. So why would you go again? Where's your pride?
Okay. Done. Can I just say, here's my thinking about it. If you stand up to Trump and you worry about standing up to Trump, if you don't stand up to Trump, you get pulverized. He disrespects you. Yep. He does what he wants anyway. And then he publicly humiliates you. You've got to ask some serious questions about the fiber, the moral fiber, the emotional fiber of people like Mark Rutte, who had all of his messages to Trump publicly paraded on Donald Trump's Truth Social. He's done the same with Macron. He's about humiliating everyone. So that's what you get if you call him the daddy, you're the daddy. That's what you get if Keir Starmer picks up his notes like a cuckolded gimp sat alongside him. This is what happens if you work with him. So there's nothing to lose from doing what Spain has done. Now, the problem for the UK, and it is a different problem to Spain, legally and diplomatically, Trump can't single out Spain to punish economically because it's part of the EU bloc. Mm-hmm. So Spain is protected in its resistance to America.
Has no problem slagging off
by the EU. No, but the EU as a bloc is a massive financial consideration. Yeah. The UK is once again another negative byproduct of Brexit. Is that we can't disagree. We have to be in total lockstep with America, which is why total cockwombles like Tony Blair say, when America says jump, you must jump. Because Tony Blair was the poodle on the leash, the gimp on the lead to George W. Bush with his bomber jacket.
And played his huge part in 1 million Iraqis being slaughtered.
Absolutely. He is responsible for it. Anyway, without going there. So this is what Donald Trump posted afterwards. Melania and I are pleased to announce that Their Majesties the King and Queen of the United Kingdom will visit the United States for a historic state visit later this month, which will include a beautiful banquet dinner on the evening of April 28th.
In your ballroom.
I look forward to spending time with the King, whom I greatly respect. It will be terrific. I wonder if they'll talk about Andrew at all.
Right, let's read out some comments. What do you think, guys?
Shem,
convince me otherwise.
Everything to gain. He is such a bloody toddler. Do you know that cashews come from a fruit, says Miss Baby Love.
Read out the names.
This is not fucking soft power, says Rachel Thomas. This is placing ourselves in a position to be globally humiliated.
Exactly. Actually, I'm glad you made that point. This soft power.
Entirely.
Yes. Roll over.
Foley, Jacqueline Foley, thank you so much of both of you for breaking this all down to those of us that don't understand the ins and outs of what's happening in detail. Thank you. Bless you. I mean, we try to work our way around it. Roxy Voxy, Trump's Oval Office is gaudier than any royal.
So
it's so hideous. It's so nouveau.
It's like he's stolen it from everywhere, hasn't he? Just like
it's like having a bungalow in Clacton and putting Corinthian arches or columns around. It's ridiculous.
It's just embarrassing.
Trump doesn't respect the king or the monarchy. No. King Bridget, he covets the position.
I don't agree that he won't humiliate. Dimitri said doesn't think he'll humiliate. He humiliated him 40 minutes before the king said he was going, because yet again, he slagged off the UK, the military, our weaponry, now, I'm not a great, I don't have this patriotic pride about what weapons we've got, but in that world, that was really...
I couldn't give a fuck. Yeah, a lot of people were getting their knickers in the first LBC yesterday saying, how dare you call our ships toys?
But I understand that. I don't feel or think like that, but I can understand it. And to the king, that is an insult to the king.
Well, especially as one of the aircraft carriers is HMS Prince
Everything is HMS.
Charles or something.
The ships are HMS. Yeah. So he slagged him off 40 minutes before he accepted.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing I know about Trump, he's going to want to have in some way in the transactional relationship with the king on this visit.
Yeah,
he will want to put the boot on the neck. And listen, there is no way on earth that Trump is going to allow this visit to happen and not seek to get political advantage.
He will PR it to fuck.
It's a diplomatic visit, says Clodagh, but think king and queen will be sick of the thought of it, though they shouldn't go.
Oh God, right, okay. So can you imagine the husband-wife conversation around this?
Oh my God.
You said, no fucking way we can get out of it, darling.
Camilla, I really don't know.
Do you think they'll be dealing with their anxiety through their very passionate sex life?
My hands are getting larger by the minute, Camilla.
Yeah,
Because they love it, don't they? They love a bit of nookie, those two. Let's never forget.
Why did you have to take
No, but
us?
they do. Do you remember?
I heard the recording
All right,
again the
we
other
won't
day.
talk about it.
Yeah, well, you took us there.
Sorry.
What, the
In case they don't know in America.
tampon gate?
No, don't. Because our American visitors may not know.
Oh, you should be like, you're like a pair of knickers.
Isn't that what she said?
No, he said, I want to be your
No.
tampon.
She said,
He said,
you're almost like a pair of
Okay,
knickers.
let's stop. Because maybe Trump will see this and bring it up over the ballroom dinner.
Okay.
Somebody else said there, I can't see who it was, he'll do nothing but talk about the ballroom.
Oh my God, he'll show him his drapes, his curtains.
Oh, Nanny Bluebell, 70
Hi.
months. How are you doing, Nanny Bluebell? Nice to see you.
Yes, you will. None have sent out Nanny Bluebell. You're very, very good at reminding us.
We
we will. I'd like to be a fly on the wall at their house to find out what they really think, says Alison Hump 7541. The king is smarter than you think, says Jackie Valina. And Jackie, hope you're
Jackie
well.
Valino, I was saying to Mark the other day.
Yeah,
we haven't
love
seen
you.
Jackie Valino for ages. We hope you're well.
All swingers together, says Lady Speeder. Perhaps the king could have a diplomatic health issue. Lee Jordan. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what they would be saying, wouldn't they?
Maybe they will
So,
cancel at the
darling,
last
for God's
minute.
sake, you're having cancer treatment. Surely
Yeah.
you can use the cancer card.
I'm sure we could say
Surely you can use the cancer
Of course,
card.
the other bloody problem, Camilla, is that as soon as we go over there, we have to deal with bloody Harry.
Oh God!
Yes, we don't want to see bloody Meghan and bloody Harry.
What if Trump invites
Oh,
them
no.
to try and bridge the gap?
The way Trump has treated women and young children, I'm not shocked the royals agreed to meet him. Terrible people. Someone did just say, but the ballroom is on hold. Yes, it is. The judge found
the judge-
against it.
He said to him, "Go away and see if you can get some private investment." Well, you know who'll give him that private investment?
The king.
No.
Who?
What's the name?
Who?
Edelweiss.
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 Miriam
Edelweiss.
Edelweiss.
Anyway, let's
She-
move on.
Okay, move your arms.
It's not nice for podcast people.
Okay.
Podcast, you can come and visit us over on YouTube.
Okay, well, let's have I've got a couple of clips. I don't want to lose them. So let's get the latest from the big fat orange what's it.
What is the plan to bring them back down?
All I have to do is leave Iran, and we'll be doing that very soon. And they'll become tumbling down. And stock prices were up today almost to a record because they know two things. Number one, we have a safe country. We had to take a little detour because we had a madman named Khomeini who sadly is no longer with us. And we had regime change already. We've knocked out one regime, then we knocked out the second regime. Now we have a group of people that are very different. They're much more reasonable. I think much less radicalized. We have had regime change. We're dealing with people that are much more rational, and it's amazing what we've done. We had to make a little detour. We hit them hard. We got rid of a lot of the radicalized lunatics along the strait. But if they want something, I would say that within 2 weeks, maybe 3, we're hitting them very hard. Last night we knocked out tremendous amounts of missile-making facilities. As you probably read or wrote, we knocked out. Excuse me.
Pardon me for interrupting. The U.S. will be gone or done with the war?
I think with 2 or 3 weeks.
Not 3 weeks.
So again, of course, him saying that the war will be done in 2 or 3 weeks has had the required effect. Oil prices have come down.
How can they
Stock
idiots
markets
keep
have gone
falling
up.
for this?
Well, it's not just idiots, but you can feel the complicitness and compliantness of the markets. It's like brilliant. He said it. Doesn't actually the value of nothing means the value of everything means nothing.
It's all set dressing.
It's all set dressing because they're all like, oh, well, when he says it again, we'll just drive it down and then we'll buy it and then we'll drive. It's all so fucking corrupt. Marco Rubio also had this to say. I'm just giving you these are some of the latest clips across social media that none of our mainstream media ever carry.
that is led by radical Shia clerics, by people who believe that it is their calling. I know this sounds fantastical, but it's absolutely true. This is a regime led by people who believe that it is their calling and their purpose in life to usher in the end of the world. These people want nuclear weapons. Why do we know that? Because they are assembling all the things you need for nuclear weapons.
I thought he was talking about Israel for a minute.
Israel. and half their administration.
Exactly.
Talk about every accusation being confession.
But listen to this. We know about Israel's greater Israel. Listen to what tumbles out of Pete Smegsbreath's mouth.
President Trump has drawn a new strategic map from Greenland to the Gulf of America to the Panama Canal and its surrounding countries. At the Department of War, we call this strategic map the Greater North America.
So you've got greater Israel. You've got the greater North America.
What did I say to you when he was running the second time? I said, he's such a little child. He wants what Putin's got. He wants what Netanyahu's got.
Yes.
He's going, they've got more land. I want more land, didn't I? I said it to you. I said, he's going to become a land grabber. Yeah. And here we've got it. Greater North America. Doing greater Israel.
I want greater America. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And finally, here's Hegseth insulting the Brits again.
It was clear this morning in his truth that there are countries around the world who ought to be prepared to step up on this critical waterway as well. It's not just the United States Navy. Last time I checked, there was supposed to be a big bad Royal Navy that could be prepared to do things like that as well. We would much prefer to get a deal. If Iran was willing to relinquish material they have and ambitions they have, open this, great. That's the goal. We don't want to have to do more militarily than we have to. But I didn't mean it flippantly when I said, in the meantime, we'll negotiate with bombs.
Yeah, I've got that somewhere actually. Yeah. Just before I get to that, I just want to have just a moment, just a little kind of pit stop where and we'll show a funny. But I do just want to can I, before we have a break, I just want to share this thought and I just want to have a discussion just briefly. What do we genuinely think about the idea that if America does back out of this war, the big kind of unspoken about detail is we are going to see America have to extrapolate itself from this because the impact on inflation, it's deeply unpopular, however much Donald Trump tries to pretend it's not, fake news, et cetera, et cetera. This is not floating at all with the American population. So let's just assume and accept he's market manipulated like mad. We've got the net loss of the conflict is now we have a Strait of Hormuz that's now incredibly shut, which, as I think Mithu, you said a while back, is very, very strategically clever because they've compromised and hobbled economies across the world. I mean, look at Australia has just had an announcement by their prime minister earlier today saying, you know, some things are about to get tough. Their energy issues are far more acutely problematic than ours are in the short term. You've got the Philippines, you've got South Korea, you've got, you know, many Southeast Asian countries turning back to coal-fired kind of plants and things like that. So he's hobbled a lot of economies. He's strengthened Putin, who he respects. He's strengthened himself because they're a huge oil seller. And
he's saying buy oil from us.
He's about to back out, leaving us all like, fucking hell, you've gone and literally just snapped our Achilles heel in our energy. And so Britain, Europe, etc., everyone is hobbled somewhat. But even if he does so retreat, and so he goes back to America, starts to talk about Greenland, goes for Cuba, perhaps nibbles away at South America again.
Said he needs to be leader of Europe.
Yeah. What no one's talking about is the fact that Israel leveraged this conflict in the first place. Israel wants a forever war. Israel has said they're going to keep bombing Iran for the next 6 months. And I think what's going to be interesting is the only thing that could prevent America, if America don't pull out in the next 2 to 3 weeks, for me, it will be yet more proof that Israel has the compromat, the Epstein files that none of us have been talking about now for nearly a month, really. It's an Epstein war. It's become a war. It's become a war, hasn't it? Everyone's just talking about it as an Iran war. And it's clever the way in which the Epstein aspect has been diluted just with the, you know, passage of time. But I think the Epstein files will once again surge to the fore because if Israel needs America in, they will keep them in. And that will happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But if America does pull out, that doesn't mean this problem goes away. And I think countries like the UK will then be forced to have to talk about, and we need leaders like Zach Polanski. You'd think some of the opposition, but they're all compromised by the Israeli influence. Someone has to say to the UK government, what exactly is your relationship with Israel? They have committed a genocide. They've started an illegal war, which whatever Starmer's doing, he wants to look like he's the leader that's not signed up to the law, signed up to this war. We have to ask some really probing questions about our relationship with Israel.
And I mean, yesterday, passing the law that the apartheid law, that
Precisely.
only Palestinians
The genocidal
can
law.
face the hanging, that does wipe them off with any chance of being seen as a democracy. They
Yeah,
can't.
absolutely.
I mean, they've used that line, you know, the only democracy in the Middle East. Well, no, you're not.
No.
You're not. I mean, anyone that can call them a democracy with just that, like, just the last few laws that we've got, you know, you can rape prisoners, you can hang prisoners with no due process.
Circling back to all of the
Imagine any other country if we were dealing with them and they were doing that.
Absolutely. And I would argue that, in fact, them introducing this law, although however fucking awful it is unfortunately the proof that's needed to remove any kind of questions around whether calling the Zionist state a racist state is that a hot potato? It's not a hot potato at all. Israel have confirmed it's not a hot potato by introducing this law. It's racist, it's apartheid, it's segregatory, it's genocidal.
Yeah.
You know, so this is a story that Nadia's got here from Middle East Eye. United Nations diplomat has resigned over claims of planned nuclear strike on Iran. A diplomat at the UN resigned from his post on Friday, accusing the international body, the United Nations, of a scenario that involves the possible use of nuclear weapons on Iran. Mohammed Safar, a UN representative for the Patriotic Vision Association, a non-governmental organization that holds special status with the UN Economic and Social Council, said he resigned from his role in order to leak the information before claiming that some senior figures at the UN had been serving a powerful lobby and not the United Nations itself. It goes on in great detail. Which bit would you like to go
he
for?
says, there are families, children, family pets, regular working class people with dreams. You're sick to want war. Tehran is a city of nearly 10 million. Imagine nuking Washington, Berlin, Paris, London, or beyond, bombed with nuclear weapons. I don't think people understand the gravity of the situation as the UN is preparing for possible nuclear weapon use in Iran. I gave up my diplomatic career to leak this information. I suspended my duties so as not to be part or a witness to this crime against humanity. No words really, are there?
Well, I mean, there aren't. And also, I mean, what he's talking, I mean, obviously, we've talked about the possibility for the use of nukes. If anyone uses a nuke, I think it's more than likely going to be Israel. And that's really what I'm kind of inferring, that however much America pulls out of this, Israel is dictating terms.
Is there any respect for somebody that's given up their diplomatic career? I mean, like, we don't listen to doctors, do we, anymore? We don't listen to pediatricians. We don't listen to psychologists. Like, if you just look over the time with, you know, in Gaza, I was just watching Beast from the Middle East again yesterday, talking about how he said he's a doctor in Australia. I witnessed children being shot in their heads. You know, we don't listen anymore, do we?
People just asking who said that. A diplomat called Mohammed Safar, who worked at the United Nations in a non-governmental organization called the Patriotic Vision Association. Now, again, you know, the fact that he said that doesn't mean there are plans to strike Iran. But what he's talking about is the fact that the United Nations as an organization is kind of talking in the terms that it could happen, and there's a kind of normalizing of it as a possibility. And I think the normalizing it as a possibility is something that's really quite staggeringly shocking in this whole conflict.
I mean, we all sort of think that, don't we? But I suppose when somebody resigns over it, to say I have to bear witness to
I wouldn't
this,
be at all surprised if part of this war and moments and evolutions in this war, like when nukes have been talked about, I wouldn't be at all surprised if part of that is what governments do about all policies, which is leak a bit of this into the public.
See how people
was there
react.
Real resistance? No, people kind of accepted that a tactical nuke is
we kind
regrettable,
of
but something we could get away with.
Yeah.
And I do think they press and prod and test.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. So
we need a break.
Let's have this Brazilian funny, if you know what I mean. Do you want to stand this up? This is a clip where they've just is it the army or the police have just completed a drugs raid
on a cocaine wall, I think.
Keep your eyes, though you can't.
On the guy
remove your
behind the
eyes.
guy that's making the announcement.
Check this out.
His unblinking gaze has gone viral following a major drug bust in Brazil. While his colleague detailed the operation to reporters, Officer Lite remained completely motionless with an expression that social media users called terrifying. His commander later addressed the footage, explaining the look represents the spirit of pride felt by tactical teams after a successful mission.
The spirit of pride.
The comments underneath were like, yep, he was definitely the first on the scene of the crime.
Yeah, he was the first on the scene.
Oh my God, he's absolutely off his tits, in my opinion.
Let's have another look. It's brilliant.
His unblinking gaze has gone viral following a major drug bust in Brazil. While his colleague detailed the operation to reporters, Officer Lite remained completely motionless with an expression that social media users called terrifying. His commander later addressed the footage, explaining the look represents the spirit of pride felt by tactical teams after a successful mission.
Oh my God.
Very funny. He's just trying to hide a double chin, says YouTube. Very funny. Very funny.
I wonder what caused that. This one. He confirmed the package was indeed what he thought it was.
Pride.
Another one. Bro had to sample it for confirmation. Oh, the spirit of pride looks fucking strong.
The force is strong with this one. Oh my God.
Maybe a test of the product just to make sure it's genuine. Does anyone know where the drug sniffing dog is? Oh, he's not here.
He deserves a medal for staying still and quiet, says Claire Wilson. Did anyone see me, says Jane Bentley. Oh,
someone had to test its purity.
I did hear about that. Francesca Bastos.
Somebody really sweet person has gone, are you sure he's not high?
Yeah. Have you heard about the Kit Kat truck
Yes,
that disappeared?
I have.
I have, yeah.
Because
Kit Kat had to issue a statement.
Yes, 12 tons or something of Kit Kat.
Isn't it
was
near Poland
nicked.
or something?
Yeah, but I loved their statement. But don't worry, it won't affect stocks.
Yeah, I know. In case it was.
They were too scared people might not go and buy their Kit Kat.
That's right. Okay, Kristi Noem or Krusty Noem.
Does everybody know
Kristi Noem,
what we're talking about when we say Kristi Noem?
She was the head of the Department of Homeland Security. So she was in charge when the tragic deaths of the American citizens shot at the hands of ICE agents. Do you remember?
She was in charge right from the very first day. She is, they call her Army Barbie or something, don't they? Because she always dresses up. And I have found it absolutely revolting. Yeah. I think we've got some clips of her, actually. Let's just set her up with the clips.
Let me show you this one.
No, not that one yet. Not that one. The other one.
Ad showing Kristi Noem on horseback in front of Mount Rushmore.
Anyone who searches for freedom can always find a home here. But that freedom's a precious thing, and we defend it vigorously. You cross the border illegally, we'll find you. Break our laws, we'll punish you. Harm American citizens, there will be consequences.
Well, financial disclosures reveal taxpayers funded nearly $4,000 for Noem's hair and makeup services, along with over $40,000 in other vendor costs for the Department of Homeland Security advert filmed in South Dakota in October 2025. The ad was part of Noem's larger advertising campaign, which cost the State Department more than $200 million, which she claimed was signed off by President Donald Trump. Though Trump denied approving the campaign and fired Noem as Homeland Security Secretary after a humiliating grilling from lawmakers during congressional hearings earlier this month. MAGA firm Safe America Media subcontracted the Strategy Group company to produce the ad, accruing $100,000 in labor costs and a $60,000 signing bonus, on top of the thousands of dollars for hair and makeup and other vendor services, such as $20,000 for a barrel racer, which included the cost of the horse rental. Democratic Senators Peter Welch and Richard Blumenthal criticized the spending as waste, fraud, and abuse, while Kristi Noem has been referred to the Department of Justice for a perjury investigation.
But the thing about her that I really couldn't bear was, do you remember in the very, she shot a puppy as well, but you know, she, when you know, when they were first, obviously they're still doing this, taking just people just randomly taking undocumented workers and sending them to that mega jail. What was it called?
Oh, Alligator Alley. Or something, wasn't it?
And then
Alligator
she flew
Alley,
out there. This jail is the most disgusting place where you never get out, right? You never get out. They are held in these cells 24.5 hours a day, stripped. They're just wearing their shorts, shaved. So if there's 20 men in the cell, there's like 8 beds. Can you imagine? The lights are on 24/7, pure torture until the end of their days, right? And she goes there cosplaying, like, you know, you think these men haven't seen a woman, many of them, for years, and she goes dolled up to the nines, nipped in at the waist, boobs up, and standing like, oh my God, like she was getting so turned on by the fact that there were these men kept in this damn cage behind her, disgusting, and getting off on it and all that sort of stuff. Literally, honestly, she like made my skin crawl. So normally with a story like this, when this kind of a humiliating story comes up, which I'm going to show you in a minute, I would have some sympathy for the person. I'd be like, oh my God, you know, can you imagine how embarrassing? But not here. She does not have a heart, this woman.
No,
does she?
No. So do you want me to play this one at the moment where she was fired, or can we go to so this is I've Had It podcast, YouTube channel
that we talk about quite often.
This is really quite a neat kind of introduction to what's happened to Kristi Noem, courtesy of her husband, who has certain predilections and peccadillos. So let's listen to this from, and then we'll show you the images. We have got the images of Kristi Noem's husband in flagrante, is that right?
This breaking news on the planet. It's absolutely delicious. The hypocrisy is exactly what we've always predicted. Turns out that Kristi Noem, you know, who's in a godly marriage, her husband has a secret double life, and he's a cross-dresser. His name is Brian, and he posts pouting, busty bimbo photos and a trove of explicit messages. And these are the photos that have been unearthed. There he is in his little pink panties, and he has some boobs that he puts on. So I know you're probably asking yourself, because I know I was. If Kristi Noem had to fuck, marry, kill, how is she going to answer that question? Well, she married big-titted Brian. She's going to fuck Corey Lewandowski, and she's going to kill a dog, Cricket. R.I.P. Cricket.
I didn't see that.
Now, the second name there is the man that Kristi Noem is alleged to be having an affair with, and has been having an affair with.
And it's very important that we pick up on that line there, a godly marriage. My God, do these guys spout religion and their superiority, their supremacy, their white supremacy, their Christian supremacy over everyone. How many times does this happen with the kind of people that are performative?
Yes.
I mean, I have huge respect for people that have faith. I don't have a faith, but I have huge respect. But performative faith makes me sick to my stomach.
Or also, more importantly, the evangelical attitude that other people need to live like you say, but need to observe the rules and moral regularities of what you demand.
Yeah. You better get your shorts on.
And I'm just curious to know how she'll sort of manage this. Kristi Noem reacts to report husband cross-dresses and wears fake breasts. Shocking pictures of Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband flaunting giant fake breasts revealed, sparking grave security concerns. She said, a representative for Kristi Noem said, Miss Noem is devastated. The family was blindsided by this, and they asked for privacy and prayers at this time. Here's full facial images of her husband. It's an incredibly, I mean, look.
I'm thinking right now of all those undocumented workers, partners,
that's them,
children.
That's them alongside a vulnerable-looking rabbit cosplayer. Even the dog's pulling away on the leash.
She's asking for people's prayers. She's asking for people's privacy. You've got to be joking. The way you've treated people, the way that people have reached out and begged for help because the wrong person's
and I really want to.
She's as hard as nails.
I really want to make a really important point here. I have no issue with anyone wanting to do whatever the hell they want to do. I've got no issue with his predilections, with his kinks, as long as he's not hurting anyone, as long as it's consensual, as long as it's not illegal. But as you rightly say, the hypocrisy of someone as in a position like she had, doing what she did, incarcerating thousands, destroying the lives of, you know, God-fearing Americans and
non-Americans.
But with a
stone cold, hard face, always fully made up, lip gloss, you know, the eyelashes. Or she was, do you know what? A little part of me thinks that this was their thing together, because she's a sadist, in my opinion.
Right.
And maybe he's a masochist.
But also the other thing that makes me wonder whether you could be right about that is the fact that, you know, it's been known for quite some time that she was having this so-called affair with this other guy. So maybe it was just, you know, it was known. The reason she wrote it out, do you remember in that cross-questioning at that hearing? It felt like, oh, this is just known.
Wrote it out.
Yeah, literally. This is just known between them, which again, in and of itself isn't an issue if they have an open marriage and open relationship. But don't be spouting religious, evangelical, faith-driven, moral fucking guidelines for the rest of the world and not be observing them yourself.
Do you know, Trump said part of the reason he gave her the job for Homeland Security was because how magnificent she was on a horse.
Yes, he did like the way she looked on a horse.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have to say, I would like to be a fly on the wall in the Oval Office when this story broke.
Oh.
Can you imagine?
Oh.
Can you imagine what Pete Smegbreath will make of this?
Should we play? We've got some more funnies for you guys, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at her when she was saying that she wouldn't get sacked.
Yes, so this was the moment someone was saying to her that she might be fired.
There was rumours that he was going to fire her.
And she was fired during or shortly after this.
Reports that the president is possibly considering replacing you. Have you had any indication of that, and what's your response?
No, I don't have any indication of that. The president is fantastic. I'm very proud every single day to be able to work for him.
Do you expect to be serving all 4 years of this administration?
I will serve at the president's pleasure, which I'm very grateful to get to do, and he gives me a wonderful opportunity to do a job that matters for the safety of the American people.
Safety of the American. Ask Renee Good's family about that, to which you came out straight away and called her a terrorist.
Domestic terrorist.
Wow.
Nobody does big bazookas like Kristi Noem's husband. I've never seen a pair so big. They're so big.
Beautiful.
I have to say they're so big.
Are they beautiful?
Big and beautiful.
Can we have a break?
Let's have a break. Let's have some fun. Let's have some silliness. And then we are going to talk about Scott Mills. Do you want to have a moment with Pepper?
Do you want to see the puppy for a bit and then we'll do a funny?
Okay.
Yeah, do a bit of Pepper.
Let's have a moment with Pepper.
I filmed this for you guys yesterday. She haven't seen her for a while and she's so adorable. This is our miniature schnauzer, Pepper, who's now 5 months. She's the funniest, kindest, sweetest, most affectionate dog. She is, honestly. Wherever we go, she's there. Excuse me, she's just like, what are you talking about here? I haven't been informed. I haven't been informed that we're having chicken.
Good girl. Yes. That's fun. That's fun.
No.
I love playing with this dog. She always, know that whenever we're doing coffee moaning, she's just asleep.
She sleeps
under
right
our
next
feet.
to my right foot.
Good girl.
You're not a dog lover, sorry.
Can I just say as well, Toffee, what's lovely now, Toffee now, they've slowly become used to each other. Toffee suffers her kind of constant
Well, except when she goes anywhere near that sofa.
But Pepper really wants to sleep with Toffee. Like last night I was lying on that sofa with Toffee and Pepper was really wanting to cuddle in with Toffs, and Toffs just does this.
And that's it.
Yeah. Someone was Jenna Anar was just saying, let's do something funny, like let's have some silliness. Like the whole last segment wasn't silly perfection. I mean, yeah, you're right, actually.
I was thinking.
Yeah. I mean, you know, fake tits and the rest of it. And again, we're not shaming people who are into Furbies, cosplay.
God. I mean, we could all sit now and talk about what we all do in the bedroom, and we might find something perverted, another person might not. We do not care. We are accepting of everything. I just can't bear the hypocrisy.
Nadia does weird things with teaspoons.
I have sympathy for her husband. It's probably a release.
I think he might have been driven to that.
Can you imagine living with her?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got another funny.
Yeah, another funny. Let me find
the
it.
Stand-up comedian.
Which one? We're just finding it now. Oh. Where is it?
Sent it to we.
Okay, bear with me. You might have to let me play something. Oh no, this we can't be sat here wandering through these.
All right, doesn't
so
matter.
let me just pop something
matter.
up whilst I find something else.
Okay.
That he loves his phone more than me.
He loves his phone more than you.
Yeah.
How can you say that?
Because he's watching his phone more than me. That is really true.
Yeah.
Whenever I call him, he's not listening. He's addicted to his phone.
My God. നമുക്ക് ആ ഫോൺ എടുത്ത് ഒളിപ്പിച്ചേക്കാം.
ആ ഫോൺ ചിലപ്പോ പൊട്ടിച്ച് കളയും അവിടുന്ന്.
Which is a language.
Like everything is his mistake. I have given him lots of chance. It's full his mistake.
It's okay. We can make him understand that.
I already
He should
made
not
him
use his phone this much, right?
Mama, one day I told him, I explained it very sweetly to him that, Papa, do not watch phone. It'll make your eyes more badder. It'll make it redder. Then you should go to the hospital. And sometimes you should have a surgery or you should wear glasses for the whole time. Power glasses. I told him very politely. Still not listening. Still watching phone. Still watching phone. When I even call him, he's not even listening. He's addicted to his phone. Really, I'm saying.
I love it. I told him very politely. I told him very sweetly. Your eyes are going to be even redder than they were before. You're going to go to hospital and you're going to need surgery.
Amy Liz Life says that's also a bit sad as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay, I found the stand-up comedian. Oh no, God, what's happening? Hang on, here it is. Bear with me. This one, yeah.
Very funny.
Do you know her name? Oh, it's on the screen. Don't worry.
Immigrant, but I don't like other immigrants. I just need to be clear about this. No, it's like that for all of us. We don't like the ones who come after us. Like back in the day, the Irish didn't like the Italians didn't like the Puerto Ricans didn't like the Dominicans. But the Dominicans could play baseball, so they were fine. And now, the Indians and the Chinese can't stand each other. Because somebody decided we all have to check the Asian box for college applications. So all our kids are fighting for the same 15 spots at Princeton. Meanwhile, those poor Sri Lankans, Filipinos, Bhutanese, they're like, what did we do to get stuck in this mess? And seriously, when you see me, do you think Asian? Do you think, I bet she knows where the best dim sum is? No, you see me and you think, I bet her uncle owns a Motel 6. And he does, 2 of them.
She's funny. She has a whole comedy sketch show with her family.
And if you're listening, her handle is @Zana Garg. Like MeTube says, there's more than a sort of molecule of truth in what you're saying there. Because I think what you've got going on there speaks to some, perhaps, of what's going on in
but that's great comedy, right? That's why comedy should not.
You know, that sort of, often the phrase used is, pull the drawbridge up once your family has kind of managed to get in.
That's why she's clever.
And I think it is something that's very rarely spoken about. We often just think of racism as only something from white people, privileged white.
Oh God!
But racism happens in all directions.
Of course it does, and every country is racist, aren't they? In their own way.
I just want to play you this clip because he's a stand-up comedian, but who posted something, and it's incredibly disturbing. So let me just play this to you because it's a cautionary tale.
Who got a call from the Popo? Well, actually, it was a letter. I got a letter from the police to go down and talk to them about this video.
Israel is not a country. The most generous title it could have is a terrorist organization. The most accurate description would be a settler colonial apartheid regime of terrorists.
Apparently, somebody didn't like it. So I went down to talk to the police. Now, to their credit, and to be fair to them, they were actually very nice. No problem at all. So they were like, did you make this post? I was like, looks like me. Yeah. And they were like, Why? I was like, because it's funny and true. I'm a comedian and I tell jokes based on facts. They said, what do you mean? I was like, well, the International Criminal Court in The Hague, the highest court in the entire world, has said that these guys are committing a genocide. So I call them terrorists. And the IDF is literally born out of two terrorist organizations recognized as terrorist organizations combining together to create an army for this, not a country. All this time, they seemed to be agreeing with me anyway. They were like, yeah, yeah. So that was pretty nice. And then they said, some people might take it the wrong way. And I was like, I fucking hope they do. And clearly they did. That's why I'm here. And then the last question was, do you plan to keep doing this? I was like, absolutely. How long? Well, till Palestine is free. And then I was like, so what happens now? And they were like, well, we send this report to the court, and then the court will decide what to do, whether to pursue this further or not. I was like, awesome. Personally, I hope the court decides to take it to the next level, and then we can discuss at the very top about our fundamental rights, our freedom of expression in Europe and in the world. And we can also talk about whether Israel is a settler colonial apartheid regime of terrorists or not.
Wow.
But that just shows you, so he's European based. So
I heard something yesterday about police are no longer going to follow up these hate crime. When you come into a radio show and it's halfway through, we'll have to look that up. There's some shift on that.
His handle is The Sun Deep, as it sounds. The Sun as in sun, deep. Let's have another funny from Nats, and we will then move on to our final topic. Just here, which one of these have we got? Just looking at we've had the girl. Let's have a look at this one. Keir Starmer.
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me.
Look, I have seen the SNL UK skits about me. Let me be absolutely clear. I do not sound like that. They've made me sound like a sat-nav that's lost its confidence. And overall, it is a stupid joke. I have very, very strong conversations with Donald. Very strong. No. For example, last week I had a call with Donald. Not going to reveal the details. And he said something, and I said, no, we're not going to do that, Donald. Okay? And then there was a pause, quite a very long pause. And, he changed the subject. But the point is, I still said it. So I think this whole narrative that I get nervous on the phone before speaking to Donald is absolute. It's just ridiculous. I'm about calm leadership. For the record, when I speak to Donald, my voice is actually a lot deeper than that. It's a bit like this. Donald. Yeah, it's Keir. That's me having a very strong conversation with Donald. And look, if the directors of SNL UK would like to call me to discuss this matter directly, they can call me. Not Donald, though. He usually calls me. I don't call him. Yeah.
Very
It's
good.
very good,
Very
isn't it?
good.
This is it. UK government is to change when police force in England and Wales record non-crime hate incidents because they're overwhelmed with it.
Yeah.
This is on social media, so it's not a crime.
In order to end the policing of everyday arguments.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if that would be now deemed as an everyday argument. He said something and somebody else doesn't like it.
So for those of you who don't know who Scott Mills is, this is Scott Mills. The story this morning in all the papers is that the BBC knew about Scott Mills' allegations almost a year ago. Broadcaster apologises for not investigating claim about messages months before it fired the Radio 2 DJ. I mean, not surprisingly, it's very hard to get an angle on this story insofar as the accusations involve his involvement with someone who was underaged. Is that right? And so presumably if they fired him, there must have been an evolution or development to the story. Is anyone, I mean, I'm kind of at sea with this really in terms of, again, what it looks like the story is becoming is the BBC once again dropping the ball, not following up on, investigations or following up on accusations. I don't like this direction of firing people on allegations. So, and at this stage, at this point, presumably it still is an accusation. The Independent's reporting a freelance journalist who contacted the BBC press office after being made aware of these allegations said she didn't get a response. She said, Anna Breeze said, someone who knew I used to work for the BBC volunteered some information about Scott Mills messaging someone inappropriately. It was a credible source and I was concerned, so I decided to contact the BBC to make them aware of it. I didn't get a response. The BBC said in a statement, we received a press query in 2025. It included limited information. This should have been followed up and we should have asked further questions. We apologize for this and we'll look into why this did not happen. More broadly, we would always urge anyone who has concerns or information to raise it with us. But it is still at accusation
the
stage.
original accusation was 10 years ago, wasn't it? And it was, the police said there was not enough evidence to go forward with it. So then that's closed.
Yes.
So is it now that person has now come forward and
Said
because
something
like
more.
it's a good point being made this morning on Jeremy Hunt, and we know nothing, you know, and I hate all this like cancelling people and everything before. We don't know anything. But there was a good point made that, you know, of course employment law is very different from the law. So we just don't know.
You mean you can be fired for inappropriateness or something that's gone wrong, but it's not necessarily criminal.
Yeah. So I mean, we know, and this is what is so awful for the people that are involved with this. We don't know what's happened. We don't know if it's true. We don't know if somebody has had something happen to them and I think the BBC are just so shit at dealing with this. They are so shit because all of this, everyone's going to be supposing everything because nobody knows. It's deeply unfair, I think.
Me too. If it's a contractual clause breach, the BBC should explain which clause.
Yeah.
Clodagh says if it's an accusation, they can only suspend someone, not fire them, as they're leaving themselves wide open for a case against them if person is proved innocent. That's what's so sort of.
But we don't even know if it's connected to this complaint that was made 10 years ago about, because the only way we know that is obviously the papers have gone to the police and said, what is it? They say, yes, we did arrest a gentleman 10 years ago. They're not saying it's connected to what this could be something completely different.
Yes, I agree.
And it will be up to Scott whether he decides to say it or not. But, you know, the BBC are well known for, so I've heard, my opinion, for leaking stories anyway. So I'm just always really reluctant to say stuff about people when we don't know anything.
No.
All we know is that he's been sacked.
What is is there an accusation anywhere in the public realm? No. Is there an accusation of sexual assault?
10 years ago, there was an accusation to the police, and the police said there wasn't enough evidence to take it further.
Right.
Which, you know,
so okay.
We don't know what.
And once again, we haven't had any statement from the police, have we? There's been no sense that there's a criminal investigation ongoing. It's just the BBC.
No, there isn't. They just said that was 10 years ago. But the thing is, people are attaching this story to why he's been sacked, but we don't know that's why he's been sacked.
No.
He hasn't said that. The BBC haven't said that.
Do you know what I think this needs?
What?
We need to see the Brazilian soldier again.
Yep.
Officer's unblinking gaze has gone viral following a major drug bust in Brazil. While his colleague detailed the operation to reporters, Officer Lite remained completely motionless with an expression that social media users called terrifying. His commander later addressed the footage, explaining the look represents the spirit of pride felt by tactical teams after a successful mission.
The spirit
it's
of
unbelievable.
Pride felt by tactical teams when a mission's been accomplished.
As Mitri puts it perfectly, there is no active case.
Yes.
People are joining up dots with something. I think it was before, actually, I think it was longer ago than 10 years. We don't know. And we may never know.
That said, I mean, you can't help but feel the BBC makes it infinitely more problematic for everyone involved. Even with the Hugh Edwards case, they make it, I'm not talking about problematic for Scott Mills if he's done something wrong, but also problematic for any potential victims or anyone who steps forward too. It becomes a quagmire of ambiguities and ambivalence. And it's just, it doesn't feel like it's being managed properly. But the BBC are apologising, so they obviously feel they've done something wrong. Okay, guys, that's your lot. Something will be landing later. I think we're recording How to Stay Married today. I'm on the campaign trail later, so wish me luck. And anything you need to say, Nat?
Don't think so.
Want to say?
Thank you. Please hit the subscribe button. Please share the videos, helps get them out. And thank you for spending your time. And also thank you so much for people
for those
that
memberships.
have gifted the memberships. And if you get one, please thank the person that gave it to you. I don't know if it shows up.
It
actually.
doesn't. Chesem,
Oh.
Nicola Ritchie. You've got to thank for the memberships.
Thank
if you
you
suddenly
so
find
much.
yourself,
And you may have got some yesterday because again, it was gifted yesterday.
Yeah.
And we'll see you tomorrow night, old members and new members tomorrow.
Yes.
And remember, it's a completely political free. It's just silliness, food, and
chat. All right, guys. Have a